Good morning, Year 9. I hope you're well and having a lovely day. Please do write the date and the title, Lesson 15, Comedy at the Courthouse. For this lesson, you'll need a copy of the extract from Act 4, Scene 2 and Act 5, Scene 1, access to YouTube to watch some clips, including the scene summary, and different coloured pens and highlighters. So do now, describing Dogberry. I'd like you to think of as many adjectives and nouns as you can to describe the character of Dogberry. Pause the video for 5 minutes to do this now. So, what have been the funniest bits of the play for you? Pause the video for 3 minutes to write down your answer. Some of you might prefer the clever wordplay of Beatrice and Benedict's arguments, or seeing them getting tricked. Some of you might prefer the silly behaviour of Dogberry and Vergers, and the words they get confused over. So today's focus, who are these fools in the play? I'd like you to watch the scene summary of Act 4, Scene 2, and then the clip of the scene. Write your first impressions about the scene. What do Dogberry and Vergers bring to the play? Pause the video for 7 minutes to answer these questions, to watch the clips and answer this question. Okay, what I'd like you to do is read this information and make notes on it. Then do the task below. So I'll read through it with you. Shakespeare's Fools. Appearing in most of Shakespeare's dramas, the clown or fool figure remains one of the most intriguing stage characters in the Shakespearean oeuvre, and has frequently captured the interest of contemporary critics and modern audiences. Taking many forms, Shakespearean fools may be generally divided into two categories. The clown, a general term that was originally intended to designate a rustic or otherwise uneducated individual whose dramatic purpose was to evoke laughter with his ignorance, and the courtly fool or jester, in whom wit and pointed satire accompany low comedy. By the time of Queen Elizabeth's reign, courtly fools were a common feature of English society, and were seen as one of two types, natural or artificial. The former could include misshapen or mentally deficient individuals, or those afflicted with dwarfism. Such fools were often considered pets, though dearly loved by their masters, and appear infrequently in Shakespeare's writing. The artificial fool, in contrast, was possessed of a verbal wit and talent for intellectual repartee. Into this category, critics place Shakespeare's intellectual or wise fools, notably Touchstone of As You Like It, Fest in Twelfth Night, and King Lear's unnamed fool. Many commentators have observed the satirical potential of the fool. Considered an outcast to a degree, the fool was frequently given rein to comment on society and the actions of his social betters. Thus, some Shakespearean fools demonstrate a subversive potential. They may present a radically different worldview than those held by the majority of a play's characters. Likewise, such figures can be construed as disrupting the traditional order of society and the meaning of conventional language. And as for so-called clowns, including the simple mechanicals of A Midsummer Night's Dream, Trinculo of The Tempest, and Lancelot, Gobbo of The Merchant of Venice, most are thought to parody the actions of other characters in the main plots of their respective plays, and to provide low humour for the entertainment of the groundlings. What I'd like to do is highlight the different purposes of clowns and fools in Shakespeare, and consider, is Dogberry a clown or a fool? Write a sentence explaining your opinion. So he's a clown. He's not a wise man, and his poor grasp of words leads to humour. Okay, what I'd like you to do is pause the video to read through the section of the play on the slide. So, after an infuriatingly silly courtroom scene, finally the sexton is able to get a simple summary across to the audience. Dogberry is then insulted by Conrad, who is understandably frustrated with this nonsense, but it's too late for it to go in the court record. Dogberry wants to make sure nobody forgets what was said, so he repeats it a lot. So pause the video, and then read through the scene on the slide. So even when telling Leonato the very important news of his daughter's innocence, and the capture of the criminals, Dogberry can't let go of this injustice and wants to make sure Leonato knows. So Act 4 Scene 2 and Act 5 Scene 1 are full of more malapropisms from Dogberry. Can you find them? And remember, a malapropism is when you are trying to say something but you use an incorrect word, and so what you're trying to say and what you actually say are very different, and the actual meaning of what you're saying is often very humorous due to the mistake you've made. So pause the video for about 12 minutes to go through those scenes and try and find as many malapropisms as you can. So these are the ones that you may have come across. Pause the video to see how many you got. If you didn't get very many, please do add a few more. Okay, so Dogberry and verges are crucial to the comedy of Much Ado. To what extent do you agree? Write down your ideas to plan an answer for this question. So, yes, they're crucial to the comedy because. No, that they're not needed for the comedy because. No, they're not needed for the comedy but. So please do jot down ideas for each of those headings. So they're crucial to the comedy because they're silly and make us laugh easily with malapropisms. They are simple fools, and this appeals to the audience who enjoy slapstick, not just wordplay. They ridicule policemen, which helps to connect with the audience. They provide light relief and contrast from the dark plotting of Don John and from the devastation and sadness of those affected by him. Even Beatrice and Benedict aren't making jokes later in the play. So reasons they're not needed: we get plenty of laughs from the scenes with wordplay involving Beatrice and Benedict's arguments. The real comedic highlights are the gulling scenes. Dogberry and verges are a bit too silly. And finally, they're not needed for the comedy, but they're essential in creating tension and dramatic irony for the audience, as Leonato could have stopped the plot before the wedding. So please make sure you've got this down in your books. And finally, reflection. Dogberry and verges are crucial to the comedy of Much Ado. To what extent do you agree with this statement? Use the ideas from the plan on the previous page if you need to. I'd like you to write at least one paragraph answering this question. Make sure you've included evidence. Pause the video for 10 minutes to do this now. Well done for your work today. Next time we'll be looking in more detail at Act 5 Scene 1, considering how men behave when it comes to a lady's honour. So thank you very much, and I'll speak to you next time.